G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, what's been going on in Bundy Bear's Shed for the week? Not much. No, I had a play with the Colorado and I just checked everything, pulled all the harnesses out and all that, and the rear pinion seal's leaking a little bit I see now, but look, I didn't take it to work. I kept it home here, but I start it most days, and some days 2 or 3 times. It has not played up, not a sausage. So I'll take it to work this next week, and we'll put it in the hot car park, and we'll just see what happens from there. So stay tuned for that one. I haven't found anything really. Some of the codes and that, I've been on a few forums, and people come up saying that if I fix the ABS codes, the rest will sort out and things like that. But I actually learned to use my my diagnostic code reader better, and it does ABS and airbags, and you can actually go for a drive and test each sensor, and the sensors are working fine. There's no lights coming up on the dash. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll see how we go, eh? Not to worry. I haven't been in the shed much. Yeah, with the rain and the heat and all that, I've spent all Saturday mowing and tidying the place up. So the place looks $1 million. And yesterday I went out fishing. Yeah, my daughter Adele, she's always a bit keen to go out for a fish in the river. So, and there's a river south of us here at Elliott Heads, and the Elliott River goes. Oh, that's why it's called Elliott Heads, of course, isn't it? The bloody river comes out there. But yeah, won't make a David Attenborough, will I? But we chucked the boat in at Riverview and done a bit of snooping around up there, and checked it out. We put the boat in on low tide, so just so we could see what was there and where the sandbanks were and get to know the area a little bit, as I hadn't had a boat in there before. And yeah, some places it was very shallow, and I need about 0.6 of a metre, or say 2 foot of water for the boat to clear easily and safely. And we had that in some places and not others. So, but anyway, it was a nice thing. We caught a few fish, a few grunter. Judy caught the biggest one, which was legal by about so much, but we didn't keep it. We chucked it back. I caught another couple of small ones, and it was a good day. But in the river there, we found a nice place to go. And when we got back to the ramp, it was blowing its arse off, 35km/h winds, and yeah, I backed down in the boat ramp to put the boat on, and yeah, it was all you could do to hold the bloody thing straight while you winched her up. But anyway, great day doing that. And in doing that, before I go out anywhere, I always start the boat motor here and put the ears on and make sure that the water pump works and all that sort of thing, because no problem checking it here. But on Saturday afternoon, I put the ears on and hooked the tap up, because we have tank water here, and hooked the tap up, and water pump wouldn't work. And I thought, God, bloody thing, it was working fine when I put it back there. So anyway, I had to pull the leg off the outboard. It's a 50 horse Yamaha 2-stroke, and pulled the leg off. And years ago I had a water pump, and they had little rubber fingers on the impeller, and it was an older boat, and I must have sat for a while, and they sort of stuck to the outside edge, and when I started it tore the guts out of it. So I thought, oh, I wonder if something like that happened. So I pulled the leg off, and water pump was fine. But one thing I did find was where the rubber impeller sits on the shaft, it had moved back and forth over the time, and that little key was, well, it was down to about 1/3 of its normal size, and part of the keyway, the Woodruff key groove, you could see where it had rocked sideways and damaged the keyway slightly. So anyway, luckily I had a new key, so I put the new key in, and away we went. And so I actually put the ears for the boat motor for flushing it out. I actually sat it on a bit of pallet racking over here, and what I'd done is, instead of having a cup, I'd flattened it out too much, and once I sealed it up and held a bit of rag over it and tried to stop any leaks, the pump would work reasonably well. But so anyway, look, I pulled it apart and I greased everything up and never seized all the bolts and all that, so it'll be fine for a long time to come. And yesterday out in the river, it's worked best it's ever worked, I reckon. It worked like a beauty. So anyway, the problem with that's gone, and we had a great day fishing, so back to the shed. But look, what I thought I might do today is, years ago, before I knew anything about machining much, I was always interested in it. I had an opportunity years ago to buy a Kato brand, and the Kato is a tapping chuck, and it's a beautiful looking chuck, and I had a chance to buy it. I got it cheap and I've never used it. I put it in the drill one day and I didn't know how to use it, and I hadn't got onto YouTube to have a look as yet, and so I got a bit scared of it and I put it away. It's a Morse 2 taper. Yeah, on this tapping chuck, I had it, and I just wasn't going to play with it really. I didn't quite know exactly how it worked. So I bought it, and I've had it tucked in the shed for ages. Now, it's got up in the centre there's a little button that goes left and right, and if you put a tap in, you tighten up this little screw here, and that tightens 2 flats against the drive. And then to hold the tap in, you have a collet chuck. About the same as everything else, I suppose. So what I'm going to do today is get a bit of 5mm plate, and we'll drill some holes in it. And I jumped on and watched Mr. Pete and a few other people on how they use it, so we'll give it a bit of a fiddle and have a play and see. And this one, it looks like about 5/16 is about its limit. Being a number 2 taper, I suppose that'd be reasonable. And anyway, look, we'll set her up and see how we go. Well, look, I've put the chuck in there. I've set it up in the mill. I've got a bit of a bar here for something for the clutch to work against. I'll just bring that down a little bit so we're not playing with the thread. And then what we'll do, the tapping hole for 5/16 UNF is 6.9mm. So what I've done, I've drilled 5 holes at not 6.9, it's 7mm, I'm sorry. And we'll just see how we go with that. I'll try and get a bit more light up on the job here for you, if I can. And what the theory is when we push down on the clutch, it locks up and it should drive down through. Then when we pull back, the clutch inside here should actually reverse and go backwards. But well, I've never done this before, so come along and learn with me. We might as well bugger it all up together, eh? And we'll see how we go. So the flying doctor going overhead. Alright, and we'll do it nice and slow, I think, to start with, just so we can watch it bugger up quicker. Yeah. A fair bit of lube. That's going down, that's lovely. Now I'll bring it up. Oh, look at that. How good is that? That wasn't as scary as you'd think, would it? Was it? I wonder if we go in again, will it pick up the same thread? There's no new meat coming out. And that's just taking the pressure off the lever a bit. Then when we bring the lever back up again, that's about the limit for this. Yeah, it works lovely, doesn't it? Lift him back up again. We'll do another hole. I've got holes 15mm apart, so we get to have a few plays. This is one of these moments when I wish I got this out years ago. Bit of lube. Just bring him down. Lovely. That's the midway point where it's just doing nothing. And that's backing him out. All that on the handle of the drill press. So it just drives down in. And back him out. On a milling machine, this would work great on the pitch circle diameter function. You could run around and drill all your holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many you choose, and then you could just run around, put this tapping head in, then run around and tap them all quite quickly. I just got to have another play with this. This is a spiral flute tap. It's an older one a fella gave me, and I'll just see if I can find the zero again. There we go. And the idea is that the swath comes up and clears. And I just chose to use this one because it, I thought it was a lot safer than using another one. So anyway, a little bit of oil. A bit of forward speed and down we go. So you can just go straight in and bang him straight out, but you have got that little stop and think bit in the middle there. There'd be no need to go in the same hole again normally, I wouldn't imagine. There's 15mm and down, oh, a bit of lube, a little bit of swarf there. I'll just take that little bit away. Away we go. I have a mix of oil and Kero that I use for bits and pieces. This is mainly a bit of engine oil. No special potions. That thread is just a duck's nut, eh? Look, there we go. Overshoot on the DRO. That's just great, I reckon. They're nice looking threads. I'll see if I can it's a bit hard to show you the threads. There's a very little burr on the back. There's a little bit here. Look at that, new toy. And the silly thing is I've had it for years, you know, and I thought, oh, I don't know, I might break a tap. I better not get too carried away. So there you go. Just having a look at this tap, and I was sort of wondering if you're buying a bigger one to do the bigger threads, what you would look for. And see, that locks there. But then that's the other locking. That's for pulling it out. Then halfway in here we should find a happy spot. Look at that. So up it locks. Happy spot. And locked again. Well, that's a great tool. Alright, might keep and have another little play, I believe. Well, we know how this spiral tap went. So I've put a straight shank one. It's a tapered tap. It's got a bit of a leading edge to get him going. So I thought we'd just try a straight one because I've only got one, or probably only two or three anyway, spiral taps. So I'll just try and shift a bit of junk out of the way. We'll slow him up. We'll just see how this one goes. That one's got a bit of a whoop in it, I believe. I'll just see if I can straighten it up somehow. It should be self-centering in the top here. This little button that goes back and forth, that just clamps onto the centre of the tap, onto the flats on the tap, I should say, and it should centralise itself. So I'll just loosen this. Yeah, that feels good. I'll tighten this up with the collar a bit loose. So you would think that that would be we'll see how that goes. Oh, the tap's got a slight whoop in it. But anyway, it's pretty new. Give it a go. That's alright. Yeah, the rubber stays with it more with that one. We'll go back. The shed was hot, then the wind started coming and it's cooled it all down. So anyway, not to worry. Oh, so it looks like it's got an over. It's got an override, so if it, or a safety clutch I should say. So yeah, as it went down that hole it got tight and you could just see it inside the chuck there hitting overrun, so that's a good thing. But I suppose wherever there's a clutch, you've got a chance of wear too. So there we go. So it's a little bit harder work. Put a bit more lube on, see if that makes a difference. There you go, not enough oil maybe. I've been toying with making a mill pallet. And I'll tell you what, this would be the tool, wouldn't it? Take this up to 15 for the next hole. There we go. Clean the tap a bit. Okay, lots of lube this time. I wonder if we lubricate it as it goes down. The thread seems the same. It seems to take a little bit more to put the straight shank tap down the holes. A little bit more power. So I presume if you had a heap of holes to do, the sensible thing would be to go and buy a spiral tap, spiral machine tap, and then away we go with that. Yeah, it should. It'd certainly have less load on it. This 5/16 I feel is about the limit to this chuck, as I don't have any paperwork for the chuck, so I don't know, but I could go and look it up. But yeah, the chuck wouldn't hold much more, so we'll go again. Right, I've put the whole chuck into the soft jaws, and this does turn. And so we have a 1 and a 2. So it does stand to reason there'd be an adjustment on the clutch, as in the forces that you'd need to do a 5/16 tapped hole would be different than the forces used to do a 1/4 inch tapped hole. So let's back it off. It's almost right off there. We'll put a bit of lube on it. Once I get the lube from the vise, and let's have another go at this. Look at that, nothing. Okay, well, I think we're on to this. Neutral, bring it round so we can see. So that's just at the starting line on number 2. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? So it is adjustable. I'll just back him off a little bit. Out to where I think it may have been before. We'll come over to the next hole. We'll bring it down through the 2. The square on the bottom, there's a square for number 2 there, a square for number 1 there. So we'll take it round to that. Better off to have a, well, as I understand, or in my mind anyway, you wouldn't have it slipping if you could help it, but you'd have it tight enough that it would do the job, yet loose enough that if something went wrong it would slip as a safety clutch. So let's go again. So that's a pretty good thing. Okay, where we have it set there now, we'll come up to another hole and we'll just see if we can go in without slipping or anything like that. It's interesting that it takes more to drive this straight flute one, isn't it? To me anyway. Straight in, no kissing. Yeah, so that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it, once you work it out. Number 2 there, well, should be pretty damn tight, I'd say. Alright, what else can we do with this toy? Well, look, I've drilled a 7mm hole up in here, and this is just another use, I'm sure. We'll see how well it goes in the lathe. I'll bring in. We'll just feed it with the handle on the end. We'll lock the bed up. I've got to go as slow as it'll go, so we'll just see. So not so good there. But what advantage would we have for using it there? Well, we'd have a slip clutch to start with, wouldn't we? So if something got a bit tight, but you would still have to do the forward reverse on the lever, so it appears. You can find a neutral spot though, but you can't back it out. There you go, that was interesting, wasn't it? Well, there you go. That's a stew. We've got to call that a wrap. This worked great in the milling machine. It's good to know a bit about it. I can't believe I had it in the shed, or in the tool drawer for so many years, and every time I looked at it I thought, oh no, I'll break me bloody tap, I won't use that. So, but works great in the mill. The only advantage I can see in using it in the lathe is that you have the slip clutch. So if you're feeding it up in and something went wrong, or you bottomed out on the hole or something like that, you have that slip clutch in here that you could back off and do it safely, but you still have to pull your lathe into reverse to back it out, just the way the clutch works, yeah. So, but yeah, it was good to give that a try, wasn't it, really? But anyway, look, that's going to be a wrap for this week. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down the bottom and see how you go. I answer all the comments. I do read them every day or two, or whenever they pop up on the screen. I get them on my phone, but I often can't answer on my phone, and so I'll wait until I get to work and pretend I'm working and do stuff like this. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch up later, eh? See ya.